All right. Hey guys. so wait, hold on. There's my brother.
Hello.
um so let's see. Oh, we already have some people in here. So Susie's here. Hello, hello. And Gemini Gray Wolf. People popping in early. Ashani. Hello, hello. So yeah. My brother's actually just heading back from the laundromat, he said. So so he'll be home soon. But hey, Gemini, yay! So happy Saturday, you guys. I hope you guys are having an amazing Saturday. Let me know what you guys do Friday night. Did you listen a nice chill Friday night? Like, what are you party animals up to? And anything planned for today or this weekend? Um, is it just chores, like people doing laundry? So yeah, and the chat is a little bit delayed because we're on StreamYard, so sometimes it just takes me a little longer to um, see everybody's comments. But hey, Lisa, how are you? And Surian is here. Oh my gosh, hey Surian, long time no see. So yeah, have my brother in today. This is my little brother. Lives in Palo Alto, which is up in the Bay Area in California. So technically, we're an hour different right now. I'm an hour ahead because Arizona doesn't change its time at all. And in California, everybody dropped back an hour. So
Yeah, that's true.
uh, let's see. Leanne says, hello, bro. Good to meet you.
Hello,
Silver
hello.
Star says, hello, hello to Tara's bro. Nice to meet you. Surian
Nice
says,
to meet
hi,
you.
Brian. Um, Lisa said the thumbnail for this video is so adorbs.
Oh my.
Gemini also says hello to you. Sumi says, happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. V, oh my gosh. Hey, V. Oh, and Sumi, by the way, if you could see, your card finally came, the other card, the missing card. So yeah, I thought, have my brother in technically today, even though, he's in another state. And we could just share some stories, have a little chit chat, maybe even pull some cards. I don't think my brother has any cards, but his intuition is pretty good. So, he could use that. Lisa says, hold on. Hi, Brian. Pleased to meet you, bro.
Likewise,
Um,
it's a pleasure.
Sarian, thank you everyone for the well wishes to my mom. She recovered nicely. I appreciate you all. That's fantastic. I'm glad to
Uh,
see that she's doing so much better. Um, let's see, and everybody just sending lots of hearts and smiley faces. And
that's good.
all right, so I mean, you guys hear me talk about my brother, but well, let's hear him talk then. Since are you almost home?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna sit in the car, so because it's a little noisy inside. There's a child in there, so he's uh he's like any other 7 year old child, just natural sugar hypered everywhere. So I want to
Is that
make
your
sure I hear you and your followers.
is that your girlfriend's nephew or something?
Oh, uh, kind of, but the
Kind of
house of
nephew.
where we're staying at, we're not. Uh, she's not completely related, but the family that's there, they treat us like family. So you could say it's our little nephew that somehow from a from a different mother, you could say.
Ah. Some
He's
people are
adorable
saying
little. Oh,
they're
sorry.
saying sugar and hearts, energizer bunny age.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's a pretty interesting child. Of course, he he's like any other child. 10 million questions out the door. It does get annoying sometimes, but of course, can't do much nowadays compared to old school days.
Oh, thank you, Gemini. Gemini just did a little donation and a super sticker.
Nice.
Nice. So, you guys, this is my baby brother. And some people joke that we're the devil twins because we're 6 days, 6 years, and 6 minutes apart in the 6th month. So, yes, he is also a Gemini, like myself. And so, go ahead and you can tell them a little bit about you, maybe like where you work or what do you do, or just like anything that's on your mind, or maybe you can even tell them the deer story that you told me the other day.
Okay, no problem. So, as everybody is watching, I am Tara's little brother and only brother. 34 years old. I currently have, like Tara did mention, I am in the Bay Area of California, which is the expensive part of California, I guess you could say. It's a lot of being out here and does make you scratch your head about people that you encounter and see. I currently work with HelloFresh. I don't know if any of you people tuned in are aware of it or know of it, but it's a pretty it's a good place in the sense of if you don't want to do your grocery shopping, we are the middleman that gives you all the meat. If you're vegan or vegetarian, we do offer stuff like that, which is mailed to your door within whatever scheduled date that you go through with the HelloFresh app. And it's pretty fun out here. My girlfriend, she's just a few years younger than me. She's Filipina. She's a small little 5 foot lady. I love her. Sometimes I think she's some of the part of the cause of getting my gray hair a little bit, but it's okay. It's unconditional love.
Is Rhoda watching?
Not yet, but I'm pretty sure I might get the couch later tonight, which is okay.
Some people were saying in here, hold on. Syrian says you have a sick haircut, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Silver Star Priestess was going to ask if we're both Geminis, so nice. Lisa said, way cool. And Gemini said, how cool. I was born on my brother's 11th birthday, and as you know, May babies, Geminis. Sheldon's popping in. Hey, Sheldon. Sumi says that you look way younger than 34.
I wish I was.
Lisa said, because Lisa lives, up near you, and she said, yes, the struggle is real here.
Oh, yes.
A few people said they have the HelloFresh. Susie said it's great food delivery. A neighbor has it.
Good.
Syrian said, right? I think they're good genes run in the family. Tara and Brian look so young. Oh my goodness.
Well, I'll see what I can do to offer some discounts for you guys for the HelloFresh customers. As they request us to say, we appreciate the business and thank you. But like I said, with working at HelloFresh, it is a cold warehouse. The people that are producing the products to you, loyal customers, that side of the warehouse averages about 35, no more than 40 degrees Fahrenheit. The site that I'm working on, of course, requires a cold suit or a suit just to keep me warm. And the site I'm in ranges anywhere between, I would say, 30 to the coldest as -10 Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
Of course, so if you want a job and you're okay with cold, by all means, okay. But if not, it is not the kind of job, of course.
Yeah, he sent me a picture of his the suit that he wears when he's in the freaking sub-zero refrigerator, and he kind of looks like a penguin from Happy Feet, kind of, but like a neon Happy Feet.
Oh,
Annette's
yeah.
here. Hey, Annette.
Hello.
Surian said the real Mr. Freeze.
Oh yeah.
Lisa says you're making her hungry. She's hungry now.
Oh, I apologize. I'll take the full blame because even at work, all I do is talk about food. But now, due to certain health conditions of me, I gotta watch what I'm eating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and of course, you and uh, Rhoda's been Rhoda's keeping me on a short leash on food, so which I'm thankful to her for.
Oh, Lisa said hashtag stay fresh. And
Oh
Leon
yeah.
said, bro, I live in Canada. All we have are cold jobs.
Oh, oh. I I feel the pain up there. Yes.
Susie said chicken fresh. and and Silver Star says that I usually make them hungry. So like no worries. Like during my live chat, I'm usually munching on something. And so I usually give everybody the munchies. So
Oh, nice.
all right. So let's see. We know where you work, and we know kind of roundabouts where you live. Would you like to tell us about Rhoda, the one who you apparently say gives you gray hairs, who will watch this and probably have something to say?
She will later on. Yeah. uh, she's originally from born and raised in the Philippines. If any of you that are tuned in are familiar somewhat of the Philippines, she's a part of a town called Ilocos, which they're knownly famous for this food called sisig, which is practically it's a pork skin, onions, and they actually a couple other things I can't remember off the top of my head, but they do mix it somehow with mayonnaise, and somehow, some way, it's delicious. It's if you're if your health wise consists of either blood pressure issues, do not eat it. But it's a delicious meal. It's amazing, of course. Because of her, I've been eating more rice, but now instead of a half a plate, I gotta cut it down to a quarter of a plate of rice. Well, steamed white rice. Apologize, gotta be particular. But yeah, she when she does get the chance because of her nice busy schedule, she does cook when she can. She's a caregiver. Um, she's a very nice lady, very caring, loving, giving lady. Sometimes I gotta help her out with some of the things. Be like, hey, hold your, calm down, being giving, but it's okay. uh, but yeah, it's nothing but positivity towards her. Small lady, but compared to me, yeah, gotta listen to her, of course, on typical arguments. Because yeah, it's one, and of course, growing up with my sister and my dad and my mom, very fortunate to have them run at the time because of learning lessons. Uh, I've always learned women are always right, and especially learning from my sister Tara, despite her being wrong time to time.
Whoa.
She is.
Let's
it's
back up there.
but it's all love. It's as long as Tara's happy and she's right, I'm okay.
Let's see. Oh, some people had some comments.
Oh, sorry.
Well, first of all, they said the food sounds delicious, and they said we both have the same great laugh. um, let's see. Susie says you look good. You have a great girlfriend. Silver Star just shows how much she cares. And
Oh
Lisa
yeah.
said my stepmom is Filipina and my half sister, and they're living in the UK now.
Oh, nice.
Silver Star said feisty, feisty.
Oh
And
yeah.
Annette said smart man. Let's see. Lisa said, I survived a 4'11" a Filipino mama. I understand, but food is death a love language.
Oh yeah.
Surian said, "I'm close with my bros too, so seeing you guys bond makes me smile." Aww.
Thank you, thank you.
Let's see. Okay, so we heard a little bit about Rhoda. Yes, I got to meet Rhoda actually a couple of times now, and yeah, she's really cool. Always looking out for him, making sure, like even when we went out to go eat, making sure that how people like make sure there's no food on your face. Just always doting over him and making sure he has all his utensils.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Sumi's laughing that you still have your safety belt on and you're parked.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Good catch. Thank you.
Safety first, bro.
Oh, yeah. That,
So, okay. Um, oh yeah, I forgot. I put you guys on my in one of my videos. So yeah, they got to see what Rhoda looks like and everything.
oh, good, good.
Okay. Would you like to talk about anything from maybe possibly Tourmaline Court?
Oh, I could probably write a book about it from my 13 years of existence being in that house. But yeah, growing up in Termline, which was I'm assuming Term may have stated in the past, it's located in San Diego, little detailed, Chula Vista, California. Um, it was it was a nice two-story house, outside, inside. It was looks wise was amazing. The backyard, we could literally see Mexico, or for the Spanish speaking, it is obviously Mexico. And of course, on that side of the border, the first town is obviously Tijuana, or for us San Diego SoCal people, short for TJ. Of course, every uh, every so often, night in the middle of the night, of course, unfortunately, there was illegals coming through our backyard somehow just to go wherever they needed to go. But
Mm.
it was there's good times and interesting times, I guess. I can't say bad times, but interesting.
Interesting.
um, it's as a child before, of course, I hit my teens and up to my preteens. There was this, I guess a ghost, or I forgot the other term that they use. That I will always see. Um, it was like a half body, I guess you could say, that would be floating. Um, it was like of an older gentleman wearing a straw hat. I think
Oh
possibly
yeah.
overalls too. But he always had these thick glasses on. It would be like shades, I bet, best way to put it. Um, but he would never show up on the first floor of our house. But the moment I hit those stairs, of course, when people would feel like, the goosebumps, chills, or like the hairs raise up on their arms, if any hair on your arms, I would feel that. And at the time, of course, being a child, I would be nervous, scared, because of course, I had no way to defend myself, nor I had no idea what was going on. But the guy, I guess, this apparition, I would say, uh, he wouldn't physically do anything, but it was just more like, yeah, it was that kind of like, from your dad or granddad, like, hey, I'm gonna do something if you do anything wrong or stupid. But yeah, that it would always make me nervous. And of course, there was a couple of times where you know, Tara and my mom would like say some sort of prayer, and for some odd reason, that that particular apparition would just go away, which surprised me. So, till this day, it does scratch my head to see if the intentions of that particular person was positive or negative. That which I'm completely unsure of. But of course, time to time, I would I would think I'd see things at a glimpse of eye, but the moment I turn or look, it's not there anymore. But uh, there was another incident where, unfortunately, when our grandmother did pass away many years ago, um, I, I one night I did see her. It was like at the foot of my door. Didn't really. I can't recall if she said anything because with me getting older and forgetting certain things now.
Getting older, you're like 34.
Well, I haven't hit my 40s yet, Tara.
Okay. What? I'm not
Thank you.
100.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, I did recall seeing. Sorry. I do recall seeing my grandmother one night. It was before, going to sleep. Because I think it had to do. It's a possibility. Had to do with me just kind of thinking certain positive things. The little memory I had of her at the time. Um, just thinking about, oh, she did this or that, and somehow I just saw her at the foot of my door, and I think the following day I did inform Tara, like, hey, I saw Grandma. And Tara just kind of looked at me confused, like, wait, what? How that happened? So, of course, like people say, when we're babies or kids, we tend to see things more than compared to, adults and whatnot. But yeah, till this day, the certain memories like that I can't forget. Of course, had a best friend next door. Interesting kid.
Is this Javier or Hans? Or
Hans. Sorry.
Hans. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, Hans was
Yeah,
this little kid. He was a little bit younger than my brother. Oh, hold on. Before you start, there
okay.
was some people. Oh yeah, Susie was saying creepy house. Love
Oh
TJ.
yeah.
Um, and that you do have a cool name. Um,
Thank you.
let's see. Gemini says I've never lived anywhere that wasn't haunted. Um, oh, and then Sumi was talking about your name, being common in the US. There are celebrities with the name Brian, like athletes and actors and models and singers.
Oh yes.
And Susie says you sound kind of like a medium too.
Oh,
Uh,
it's a possibility. Who knows? Um,
Gemini
yeah.
said, I do believe that a spirit that was at my mom's house is now with me. She used to hear someone knock loudly 3 times around 5:30 a.m. and she's gone now. And a week ago, I had 3 knocks at 5:30 a.m.
Ooh,
So, woo,
interesting.
a little knock knock. Hello, maybe you'll hear me.
Right. Yeah, it was within our house. There was some interesting things, I guess you could say, going on. Um,
Yeah.
there was a fire in our house, and you know, thank thank goodness to the man upstairs for taking care of me. Tearing my mom. Uh, of course, me being the baby out of the family, of course, and how that fire occurred. If any of you are curious, apparently it all started with our old computer, which was like, advise you, this was like in the mid '90s, and that computer was probably made in the '70s or something.
Grandpa rebuilt it.
Oh yeah. So I just remember me personally. My father was our father. Sorry, was at work.
He's my daddy too.
Yeah, right. Thanks for correcting.
You're my brother from the same mother and father.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, of course, that day is still like embedded in the back of my head. So that morning, I remember, I think I was playing like little video games or something, and I remember I had to go to the kitchen to get something to drink or find something in the like fridge, and then in our little pool area. And when I mean pool, it's like the pool table, like billiards. And it was like I had a little bar in there. At the corner of my eye, I just started seeing smoke. And I'm not gonna lie, it's just trying to watch what I'm saying. I guess a little turtle head came out of my tail,
Oh
and
my
I freaked out. So my first instinct. so so the first thing in my head was, of course, my father always, our father. Sorry, I got keep correcting myself on that. Our father always told me, with me being the only boy, he always told me, Brian, when I'm not there, always take care of your sister and your mom. So till this day, that's, it's still in my head to be, the protective brother. Um, so my first instinct was run towards the fire to see what it is and what's going on. And I advise you, I'm like no less than 10, give or take, if I can remember. Um, I think I
I
was,
think you
or
were
12, sorry.
10.
Or
I
10,
think you
yeah.
were 10. Yeah, you were 10 because I was 16
Yeah, I was
or
10, yes.
17
Sounds about right.
or
10,
11.
11,
I don't
give or
know.
take.
I don't know. 16 or 17. I don't remember.
So, of course, I run to where the fire is located. It's, as a kid, it's very, where for a kid or an adult, it's not the best sight to see to be the first person. Because, of course, my sister, Tara, and my mother, they were both sleeping. Um, so I thought, oh, I could put this out myself, not thinking, being a kid, not knowing exactly how to put out a fire yet. So I thought, oh, I see, a tablecloth. Let me stomp that out. And that didn't work out as planned. I ended up kicking up a couple sparks to my leg. Luckily, I put that little, I think, second or third degree burn, or first, whatever the doctors mentioned it as.
You had second and third.
Oh, second and third, yeah.
Yeah.
So once I realized I got that little burn on my right leg, to be precise, um, my first instinct after that was, okay, Tara. Gotta run to Tara because she's older. Of course, as a kid, you run to somebody older because they should know. So, so of course, running to Tara's room. Uh, all I remember is just slamming the door open and just shouting without hesitation, "There's a fire! There's a fire in the house!" And unfortunately, of course, my sister and my mother, they were still, in the pajamas. Um, and I've never this. Granted, yes, Tara did do track in high school, but I've never seen her jump out of a bed and fly to our hallway within less than 2 seconds. And of course, by that time, fire alarms were kicking up. Smoke was already coming down. Uh, of course, we're all in a panic. All I remember is my sister just dragging me to outside and just, with a strong, confident voice, "You better stay out here, Brian. I'm gonna get mauled." So of course, went to get our mom and whatnot, and they did their best. And thank goodness, to one of our neighbors across the street helped us out with the fire. And then typical process of the fire truck and ambulance and all that stuff came out. And for some reason, I thought I was in a movie. At the beginning, I was like, I only saw this stuff, in like either Die Hard or something like that. And so of course we go to the hospital, for the ambulance and the doctors to treat us and whatnot. So of course I don't know where my mom went, nor Tara, but how I was able to recall where Tara was located, which now at the time I realized she was nearby, because I just hear her shouting, "Where's my brother? Don't touch me! Don't! Where is she? Where is he? Where is he?" And I'm like looking around like the nurses were holding both of my arms down because I was just like, so, where in the world's my sister? Because if I don't know where she is, somebody's gonna get hurt.
P.S. I accidentally, on purpose, kicked a doctor in the face.
Oh yeah. And which was later I found that it was just hilarious to me. I know Tara had leg power, but I didn't know it was that kind of leg power. So it was quite interesting because, of course, one of these old there was two lady nurses of, as I guess society knows, the typical Filipino nurses. um, I guess one of them, I guess she, while she was talking to me to, like, I guess keep me calm and comfortable, she was I was wearing shorts at the time, and I guess she had to take off my shorts to see if I had any other burns on my leg, and I'm freaking out, like, and in the back of my head I was like, okay, why is an older lady touching a minor? This is wrong.
My
Like,
gosh, she's
I'm
trying to
freaking
help
out.
you. He's walking around. Well, I must be hot stuff.
Right. Literally. So yeah, that ran through my mind. I was like, oh, do I really have? Am I that good looking at the same time? So I was like, oh. But the other nurse calmed it down. Was like, no, young man, we really need to make sure that you're okay. I was like, oh, all right. So doctor,
Are they coming after me for my good looks, or could it be the third-degree burn split open on my
right.
leg?
I thought I had nice legs. I don't know. But yeah, after that incident, of course, my father freaked out. Of course, unfortunately, he was at work, and he had to cut his day short to check up on the three of us and whatnot. And of course, it was just, it made us scratch our head because of the cause of the fire was because of the computer, uh,
Mm.
like our grandfather built. But it was interesting. After that, it was just I felt more I guess spirits, as you can say, show up at that time, I guess. But of course, at the time being a child, my parents, did have a hard time believing me because they're like, "Oh, Brian, you're a kid. It's probably, it's just messing with your head. It's all in your head." So of course, I didn't really bring it up anymore because I just thought as, "Oh, what's the point?" But also, yeah, that of course, growing up down there in Chula Vista, which is part of San Diego, I had a a lot of positive memories down there because of the fact that making a lot of friends, in the neighborhood. There was this young girl that I'll go by first name basis only. Her name was Jessica. Of course, being a little kid, I never knew when a girl liked me or was her way of flirting. I had no idea because all I thought was, I'm a kid. I just want to play, 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 and have fun. That's it. I had almost zero care in the world about anything else. um, yeah, she was an interesting girl. Don't get me wrong. She was a cute girl, but of course, it never crossed my mind anything after that. And I guess And if Jessica, sorry if you are gonna watch this at some point down the road, but I guess when her little cousin, girl cousin, would come over, I guess she would flirt too, and Jessica would get jealous and try to be more impressive, be like, "Hey, look at me, I'm cooler."
Yes, I
But
remember little Jessica coming over to ask if my brother could come out and play because she'd knock on the door. She's like, "Hi, is Brian home? I was wondering if he could come out and play." It's like, yeah, hold on. Oh, hold on. Let me look. We have a few comments here. Oh, some people were saying that you're so brave and so protective. Lisa was saying, bless you. And Susie saying, geez, scary but brave. Um, and uh, Lisa said, so glad you guys were okay. That's terrifying. Annette, you guys are so brave. Sorry, an unforgettable night for you guys. Um, Lisa said, Tara don't play with games when it comes to her baby brother from the same mother. Oh, let's see.
Facts, right? Hashtag facts. Yes.
Hashtag facts. Silver Star said, OMG, that's so sweet, both protective. Ishani, amazing, both of you. Lisa said, nursing your wounds and your ego.
Oh yeah.
uh, Sumi said, I still flirt like a little kid too. Surian said, too cute, big sister eye rolls. Actually, let me see. Let me go back to, okay, before we get back to Jessica. Jessica. So, okay, because it's interesting, from our house fire experience, because obviously we have like the two different points of view because he was awake before I was. So the night before, do you remember the night before? You were telling me
Oh,
about,
grandma. I think grandma said something to me.
yeah.
Um, just can't remember word for word, but she did say something the night before for me to tell you something, or I just can't remember exactly.
So it
But
was,
yeah.
yeah. He had told me something about wake your sister up early or tell your sister something about tomorrow. And we were both getting ready for bed. This is the previous night, the night before the fire, and I'm getting ready for bed, and all of a sudden I have this feeling that I'm getting in trouble for something tomorrow. Like I felt like like either I didn't sweep the floor, or maybe I did something like I didn't clean all the dishes, but I know I did all my chores, and I was like, what am I getting in trouble for? Like I feel like something is going to happen tomorrow. And that feeling, like, I guess as a kid, you're getting in trouble for something. So, like, I just had this feeling. And so then I heard Brian say, Tara. And I'm like, what? Because our rooms were across from each other. And then he said, never mind. And then I was like, okay. And so I just like went along with my weird feeling, just like went to bed. And this was during the summer, so I didn't have school or anything. And so I could wake up later. And so I remember I woke up early, but I just decided to lay in bed, and thought it was odd that I woke up early when normally I'd been sleeping in because it was summertime. And so I just laid there, and I was just laying there and trying to go back to sleep. And then I heard the fire alarm go off, but that didn't startle me because due to the spirit activity in our home, sometimes the fire alarm would go off on its own. It was usually at 3 a.m. and not early in the morning, like around 8 or 9. So I was like, that's weird. So I'm just listening to this fire alarm go off. And the next thing I know, I see my brother like in front of my room, like in front of my door. And he's like, Tara, there's a fire. And I'm like, all I remember is I heard get out of the house coming out of me. I do remember all of a sudden I was in the hallway, like, ta-da, poof, I'm in the hallway. And I was in such an adrenaline rush that like my feet were going like this. And I'm like, and I'm like staring at the back of the house, like, where it's kind of closed off, where our playroom is. It's like the pool table and the bar, and there's like a couch out there. And I see that it's just on fire, and it's like quiet. Like usually, in movies, how fires have a sound of like things popping and burning. But beside we had sliding glass doors that blocked off that part of the house, so I don't hear anything. It's just this quiet gulf of flames, in the back part of the house. And I remember throwing my brother outside. I don't remember speaking to him at all, but I guess, he remembers that part. And I just remember sprinting into the garage first instead of my mom, who was sleeping upstairs, because at the time her and my father were sleeping separately. And I went into the garage looking for a fire extinguisher. And I, in my brain, remembered where there used to be a fire extinguisher when my grandparents owned the house. And that wasn't there. Like the clip is there, but there's no fire extinguisher. And in my brain, I'm like, who doesn't have a fire extinguisher in the house? And so I run upstairs to get my mom. And I'm like, Mama, there's a fire. And my mom's like, get your brother, get the dog, get out of the house. And so as I start to head halfway down the stairs, it's already so thick with smoke, like it's dark. You can't see anything. It's so thick. And so I remember in school they tell you to crawl on your hands and knees to be below the smoke. No, smoke goes all the way to the floor, by the way, if you don't know.
Oh yeah.
So like I'm crawling on my hands and knees, but it feels like my lungs are singeing or burning because the smoke is so hot and it's so thick, like you literally can't get oxygen, like you really can't breathe. It feels like somebody has a pillow over your face and you're suffocating. And so I remember our dog was doing circles under the dining table because she was scared, so she was just sprinting in circles. And so I don't quite remember, but I do know that I had the dog. I threw her out with my brother at some point. And then I knew I had to call the fire department. And so I crawl on my hands and knees back into the house.
Oh yeah.
And I try to feel up on where the desk is, where our cordless phone was, and somebody didn't put the freaking phone back in the cradle. So I'm like, now I have to try and hold my breath some more and crawl through a burning house so I can find the phone because somebody didn't put the phone back. And so then I'm crawling on my hands and knees, and I got like my pajama shirt like over my nose, and I'm feeling around the couch cushions, and I feel like it fell between the couch cushions, and so I grab it and I crawl back, and I'm outside, and I'm calling 911. And I remember I was like in a panic, so I'm like, hello, I'm giving them my name, this is how old I am, I'm like 16 years old, and my brother, he's with me, and we have a dog, and like, no, my father's at work, and like, and saying all these things. And I didn't know at the time the fire department was asking me dumb questions just to keep me talking. They just wanted me to keep talking in order to help calm me down, because they had already dispatched, police, fire, all that stuff. I didn't know that. I thought that they were waiting to have people leave until they got all my information. So I'm like yelling at them, like, you need to send somebody now. Like, I had no idea they were just trying to calm me down. And so at some point I hear the phone go, meow, and then it goes dead. And I was like, what was that sound? And I realized it had got so hot in the house that the cradle melted. That part of the house was really hot, and so the phone didn't work anymore. And so I tried to knock next door to where my brother was talking about that kid Hans lived next door. I'm knocking on their door, and I see them looking through the blinds, and I see them shut the blinds, and I hear them slowly lock the door. And I was like, okay, by the way, this is what happens when you live in the ghetto. So nobody wants to have anything to do with your business, So people were coming out from across the street because they start hearing, a commotion, and everybody wants to watch, stuff happening, because that's what happens when you're in the hood, and nobody really wants to help you. So the neighbor from across the way, my brother was talking about the little girl, Jessica. Well, her grandfather, she lived with him across the way. He comes running over. And by the way, there's no smoke coming out of our windows. The smoke is billowing inside the house, and it's not out of our windows yet. So you can't even tell my house is on fire. He comes over and he says, do you have a hose? And I'm like, yeah. And he says, do you have a hose in the backyard? And I said, yeah. And he just runs out into the backyard. And then I hear all this glass breaking. I think that he's breaking our glass. And so I'm like, what's going on? My mom comes out. She grabs the hose from the front yard, the garden, and she runs it back into the house. And she's trying to put the fire out herself, and my mom's in like her pajamas, and she's got her pajamas over her nose, and she's trying to put out the fire. The fire department finally shows up. They tell my mom to get out of the house, obviously. And, we had to go in an ambulance because my mom had a lot of smoke inhalation, and, I did. And then my brother has burns and all that stuff. And I remember we're sitting on the porch while my mom is negotiating with the ambulance whether or not we should go in the ambulance, because she's like, no, my daughter can drive, it's fine. They're like, we don't know how much smoke inhalation your daughter has had. And my mom's like trying to negotiate money and stuff. So so my brother's on the porch with me, and he says, Tara, it's all my fault. And I'm like, no, it's not your fault. It's like, and he says, no, Grandma told me to wake you up in the morning, and I did it. And I said, wait, what? And I said, well, I had a weird feeling too last night. And then he said, and also my leg hurts. And he didn't tell us this before because, you know, all the commotion. So my brother turns his leg over, and I see he has this black charred stuff on the side of his leg, which turns out it was the tablecloth that was on top of the pool table. It was made of vinyl because it's an old pool table. And when it got hot in there, it liquefied. So when my brother was trying to stomp out the fire, the liquid vinyl splashed up onto his leg, and that's what gave him the 2nd and 3rd degree burns. And that's why his leg was on fire, is because there was vinyl, liquid vinyl on his leg on fire, you know? So that was why that was. And so then when we finally did get to the hospital, you know, obviously everybody's in shock, and we were in the burn unit because they're getting treated. My brother's already getting treated for burns. And they wanted to know how much smoke inhalation my mother and I had gotten, but we were all in different rooms. And so since I'm panicking and people are surrounding me, there's so many nurses and so many doctors, and they're trying to like get blood samples and do all this stuff. And there's all this commotion, and I'm already like really like panicked, you know, like my adrenaline's still like pumping. So I'm like, where's my brother? Oh, he's fine. I can hear my brother yelling because obviously they're scraping his leg because they have to take off the dead stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so then I'm demanding, you take me to my brother. Where's my brother? Is my brother safe? And because I wasn't getting answers, I was starting to get a little angry and freaked out. And so at some point I kicked the doctor because I wanted to know where he was. And they injected something into my groin, which they said they were taking blood, but I'm pretty sure they injected me with something to calm me down, because all of a sudden I was like, just so calm. And then and then afterwards, once they got, you know, they shoved that little camera thing that goes up your nose and down your throat to check in your lungs. Afterwards they said, do you have a phone number of anybody we could reach? Do you have your father's phone number? So I called his work, but they said my dad had already left for the day, so my dad had no knowledge coming home that we were at the hospital and all that stuff. So I'm like, oh my gosh, my dad's gonna be so mad. I called my cousin after that. I had an older cousin, our cousin Selena, and her husband. And so she came and picked me up. My brother had to stay overnight because of his burns. My mom had to stay overnight because she had burned her lungs a little bit from her smoke inhalation. And so I was going to be staying at my cousin's house for, you know, at least a couple of days. But yeah, it was pretty crazy. And then, okay, so get this, the grandfather that came over to put out the fire in the back, you know, from the backyard, like going around to where our windows were. This is what he said. Okay, so this grandfather, he had cancer. I forgot what kind, you know, like a month prior, and his cancer just miraculously went into remission. And so he was very grateful to be alive and everything. And according to him, he says, I believe I was alive to help you guys. He says, because he goes, I was at home and all of a sudden it felt like a tap on my shoulder. And they said, the people across the way need your help. And he was like, and I knew that you guys needed me. He goes, I knew that there was a fire or something. I didn't quite know. I couldn't really tell just by looking at your house. And he says, and I knew that I had to ask you for your hose. And so I went into your backyard, and he says, and I was going to start spraying. And he goes, it was so hot in that room that your windows started shattering and blowing out due to the heat and the fire in that room. And he says, so it wasn't me breaking your windows. It was the fire that was blowing your windows out because of the heat. And then later on, when the fire department was telling us the cause of the fire and, you know, why certain things burned, we were wondering, like, all of our pictures, like of like my brother and I and like our great grandmother from Ireland and stuff, like these old pictures, they didn't burn, but like the phone burned, the blinds, you know, burned, all this stuff. And we some certain that were didn't burn, but all of the other stuff we didn't care burned. And they said, oh, sometimes there's hot pockets, and like sometimes like it gets hot in certain places of the house, but not others. And I said, well, that's kind of random, but not random. You know, that all the stuff that like is our stuff. Like I had Barbie dolls there were two Barbie dolls they were like the 1996 Barbie dolls, you know.
Yeah.
They were in that room that was a ball of fire. They didn't burn at all. They were in the middle of the fire. My two Barbie dolls, not a scratch on them, but everything else melted, dead, burned. My dad's vinyl records in the room, the ceiling caved in and protected all of my dad's vinyl and records. Like, so there you go. That was okay. So we had some comments back here. Hold on. Let's see. Lisa said, I need guys to be firm and direct because I'm like so oblivious when it comes to flirting. Oh, like with Jessica.
Oh yeah.
And then she said, oh my gosh. Susie said, holy shiznit.
Oh
Gemini, you can tell that it was a traumatic event because of the way you both remember all the details. It's good you can laugh about it now. Oh yeah, now we can.
oh yeah.
Surian sending virtual hugs. Lisa, wow. I love that she was trying to protect you. Silverstar probably didn't feel it because of the adrenaline. Yeah, probably. Susie's so glad you survived. Thanks and heads up to grandma. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Lisa's like, it's good to hear you both are laughing now. Oh, Lisa was telling you that your burns sounded really, really painful.
Oh yeah. It was oh sorry.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, that burn thank goodness Tara nor our mom heard me. I mean, Tara heard me kind of shouting, but that was the first time I ever said a swear word. Because, as a kid, our father always told us, like, we swear of course, it was old school. We're going to get, nailed for that. So,
yeah. I do remember a bar of soap in my mouth once.
Me, it was quite a few times. Because I think, between me and Tara, of course, I admit there are times I do get stubborn about things and whatnot, but sometimes it was hard for me to learn to kind of keep my mouth shut on certain things. Sometimes I'll just let it out. And majority of the time, our mom would give us the soap, mainly me, and of course, I'd get the occasional smack behind the head and here and there. But thank goodness to our dad doing that.
So I was thinking of, because I was thinking of the, Jessica's grandpa who helped us out and had that little premonition to come help us. But Jessica, had the total hots for, my brother. And I think at the time she was like 11 or something. I don't know. She was like a year older or the same age. I don't really remember. Year older. Yeah. So, when we'd all go out, decide to play, usually I'm like either bouncing the basketball around or I was riding my bike or, something like that. And my brother would go over to Jessica's house across the street because we lived on a cul-de-sac. And so they would end up like wrestling. Like she always wanted to wrestle my brother for some reason. And I'd be like walking by or whatever I'm doing, or if I had one of my friends over and I'm just like, hanging out and talking to one of my friends. And I'd see her like on top of my brother, like wrestling him, like, I got you now. And I'm just like, why are you guys like so close and touching? Like, ew. You guys need to stop wrestling. That's gross.
Good times. I remember that too. And
Susie said, any work crushes?
Any work crushes? I think I do have a few, but I just look at them and I just smile. And the only thing I always say is, thank you. And I just keep walking.
There you go. Because you got a girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Cool.
there is
See you later, Gemini. She said, nice to meet you, Brian. Hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Take care. Have a great
take care.
weekend.
Have fun. But of course, at the time, it's the whole flirting thing. Of course, I'm a kid. I don't know what flirting. Well, I kind of had the hint of what flirting was, but of course, I didn't grasp the concept of it. But of course, now I'm getting older. I'm like, oh, you do this or that. And of course, I think was at one time I did have this weird nerve issue or disease, I guess, that only lasted like 5 years, give or take.
Oh yeah. No, that
Um,
was your
my
yeah.
spasms,
Yes, your
and I had
spasms.
it. Yeah, the doctor said I had to deal with something with my nerves only on my left side of the body. Um,
Paranismiokinesgenic corthesis.
wow, PKC as the acronym. it was Yeah, it was interesting because at that time, between the ages of 13 and 18, um, my primary doctor couldn't figure out how, why, like it was. I was practically like a guinea pig for him because I think at the time, if I can recall correctly, I can be 100% wrong, but he said I think within the nation, I was like the second or third person that had that.
Yeah, I think you were
I was,
like third.
yeah, and I was just like, wait, what? And he was just like, yeah, you should be thankful you're in the you're in the top three. I was like, no, I'm not thankful because I'm dealing with it, man.
Hey Edgar.
So I was like, yeah, he was giving me all, not like, when I say all sorts of medication, it wasn't all at once, but we were trying different ones, they, like per week, I guess, until we finally found one that actually that calmed the spasms without it for me, or sorry, for the spasms to occur. Sorry, um, and thank thank God that helped. And so I guess his professional opinion was it could have been the puberty hit.
Adolescence. Yeah.
Yeah, the adolescence. So he was like, that's a possibility. He was like, but he was like, it's still a learning thing. It's like science. We're trying to figure it out and whatnot. So I was like, oh, cool, all right. But
Sumi says you're coming in with the bronze medal.
oh yeah, at least I got a bronze. That's all I care. And apparently, I guess our dad joked
Oh
to my
yeah.
sister Tara about, oh, Brian likes a girl. The spasms are kicking in again. I'm like, oh, great.
Well, see, because like, okay, so basically, paranismiokinesgenic corthesis is just meaning seizures on the wrong side of the body. Usually there's a particular side of the body when people are having seizures, it's on that side of the brain, that side of the body. My brother was on the opposite, and they couldn't really figure it out. So I think they ended up just giving you medication for regular seizure, and it just ended up helping.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but like every time my brother got excited about something, it set off his spasms. And basically, at first it was like scary because I don't know what's happening to my brother. After that, once we understood it, then we could laugh. Then we can laugh at you.
I was the center of jokes.
So, but it's like weird because like one leg and one arm is like doing this thing, and like one eyeball is spinning around in his head, and like half his tongue is like, and it's like at first, like as a kid's like, oh my god, what just happened to my brother? At first I thought he was playing a game, like he was doing it on purpose, until like we went to the doctors, and like then we were like, and the doctor's like, I don't know, because it wasn't happening all the time. It's just when he got excited, like we would used to race to the van, because we wanted the window seat because it had all the controls, and you can control the air conditioning and just like blast air at the other person. And we'd have like control wars in the back of the minivan. And so we were always racing to be first so we could open the slide door and be first to the controls, So,
Oh,
and so,
yeah.
so when my brother would race there, all of a sudden, because he's like, I'm going to beat you, Terry. He's like, and then Like he starts seizuring, and I'm like, okay, I win.
I
And
blame the
so like
seizures for me losing.
so he, because he got excited about running to the car, he would have a seizure. and then um and then when we'd be at the mall or something, there'd be like these cute girls that walk by, and my brother'd be watching. All of a sudden he's like, like seizuring, like, oh my god. And my dad just starts laughing. He's like, now we know whenever your brother gets turned on by a cute girl. My dad's like,
Oh
there ain't
my.
no hiding it, boy.
Yeah, that
And
sounds
so
pretty right. Yeah.
so yeah, we had a nice laugh at my brother for several years. Oh my god.
I admit it was embarrassing.
See, Lisa's
And
laughing, and Silver starts to spoken like only family can.
yes, yes.
Edgar says puberty must have been fun.
Oh, yeah. There's I think there was one time I think I was like 12 or so, and of course being a boy, it's I start getting curious about a lot of things, just like any other preteen and whatnot. And I guess our mother caught me on the or caught me, I guess not red-handed there at the time, but I guess she knew I was looking at stuff I shouldn't have been looking
Oh,
at the time.
really?
And of
Hmm.
course, our mother gets mad. She's chewing me out like there's no tomorrow and whatnot. And I'm just like, great. And I was like, here we go. And of course, it's my only self defense mechanism was just like, okay, she's yelling, let it go through one ear, not the other. Don't no emotionally react because I'm probably gonna see Jesus that second. So I was just like, oh, here we go. And then, you know, of course, she tells her father, what I did. And then my, the thing that makes me laugh now was all I remember our father said specifically to me. He just looks at me. He was like, was it straight? Was it straight? And I just nod my head. I was like, yes. He was like, okay. And just walks away. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to get beat. I'm not. I like all these things were hit.
Wow.
All these things were just hitting my head like, geez, I'm going to see the light tonight. All this stuff. I thought I was going to see, the maker of life that night. But it was just, okay. And just walks. I'm like, oh, that went
Like
different than expected.
like I've said, our dad is very well. He's calmed down in his old age, but he used to be very like machismo, old school. Like my boy is my boy.
Oh, yeah.
So, oh, Edgar says, "Stop, dropping seizures. She won't get after you." dude, dude, our mom, because you know, I I would do something to make my mom upset. And she'd want to like hit me for it, hit me in the head or something, or she'd like have the wooden spoon or something. And of course I run off and, and she's chasing me through the house. And at one point I remember I would run out the front door. I would make so I can get out the front door because then I can stand in the middle of the street. And I'm like, what? And she's like, come back here. And I'm like, why? She's like, come back here so I can hit you. Who says, oh, wow, okay. Let me come back so you can hit me. I'm like, you gotta catch me first. And then who becomes number one track star? It's called Running for My Mama. Come back here so I can hit you. Let me think about that. No.
That's, I think with me, when it comes to, I guess, at work, every job I've had, if you met any of my coworkers, they would tell you I'm a trash talker. I love to talk trash to all my coworkers. Because why? It's entertaining.
Oh my
And
gosh.
actually, the more I think about it, I think I got it from, I think, our dad. Because I'm just like, yeah, I think he embedded in my head, like, run your mouth. But of course, none of us could talk back to our father, because if we did, whoo, there goes the funeral. At
Oh,
that point, yeah.
Lisa
Yeah.
said, I remember when my mom would grab the spoon, and when I'd hear the drawer close, I knew I had seconds to run. Edgar said, Speedy Gonzales, Terra version.
Oh
Let's
yeah.
see. Sumi said, Your mom couldn't run? No, she couldn't.
That's true. Yes, she couldn't.
Lisa said, My mother said, Come here so I can hit you too. Surian
It,
said the bamboo stick was a thing. Yeah.
yes, like I guess the nicest way to put the way our mother would chase us, her version of running, if you saw, it was like a speed walk. No running, no high stepping. It was like a speed walking. That's it.
My mom would, okay, because our mom's a little top heavy. So she would basically just like hold her chest and she'd have a spoon and she'd be like, Come back here so I can hit you. You gotta catch me.
Oh yeah. And I think was it one time remember when our father had a motorcycle in the garage that he just stopped using?
Oh yeah, the Yamaha.
Yeah, like I remember, I would like to play around it, but he always told me not to touch it. So I was like, oh okay. But of course, I guess you could say I love to take risks, especially when it comes to my trash talking at work.
Wow.
So one time, uh, I thought, I just remember, my dad was asleep because he came back from a long day at work. Uh, Tara was just, I think she was just doing homework, and our mom was cooking food for dinner, and so I was just like, hey, maybe if they're all distracted, I can get away with getting on the motorcycle. But of course, I don't know how to turn it on or do anything. And surprise, sure enough, when I least expect it, our dad hops in the garage. He looks at me, just walks up, boom, gives me like one of his typical hard smacks in the back of the head. I go flying to the ground, like probably like 3 or 4 feet.
Wow.
He's, and I just remember, yeah, can I say one swear word, Tara, or no? Oh,
You
okay, no, I'm not.
can no.
Okay, sorry. He was like, "Get your bleep off my bike right now." I was like, "Oh, jeez, okay." So I was like, didn't question it. Then once he made his firm statement for me to get off his motorcycle, yep, didn't do it, not again.
Oh, Sumi said, my dad is Mexican, so I got the belt. Oh, well, see, I had the choice of the shoe or the belt. It was like, okay, you're gonna get hit. Would you like me to grab the belt or would you like me to grab the shoe? It's like, what do you choose for your execution? What am I supposed to answer?
We were lucky to, yeah, we were both lucky to have an option.
Oh, option A sounds really good. Oh, but D is really tempting. What do I choose? I'm so excited. Oh, Lisa says, I remember the belt and the hangers had a hanger break
Ooh.
on my bum. Ooh. Oh, dude, one time I got hit with, because sometimes it was like whatever was closest, and my mom could only grab like a rolled newspaper, and I was wearing a headband, and she cracked me so hard on top of the head, she broke my headband. And then I was crying because she did it while she was on the phone. So she couldn't really, like, because it was a cord phone. So it was like, she couldn't get too far to grab a different object to in which to smack me because I was like trying to get her attention because I was like, Mama, 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 and I think this is before my brother was born. So I was like 5 or 6 or something. I'm like, Mama, Mama, Mama. And she's like, shh, 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 Tara, Tara. And so she like grabs the thing and whack on top of my head. And then I'm like, oh, you broke my headband. Mama, you broke my headband. And then I'm like crying because she broke my headband. And my mom's like, stop crying, but you made me cry. You broke my headband. Oh my God. Lisa's like, my mom would hit me with her purse in her hand. Oh my gosh.
I think one time, I don't know if it was our dad or our mom, but I think they left enough marks on my back where I think I remember I had to go to school the next day. Oh, I think it was, our mom. Because I think she got me a few times on the back. She was like, all right, Brian, when you go to school, don't take off your shirt. Ain't nobody going to see this. I was like, okay.
Okay.
But it was interesting how anytime our dad or mom would, hit us, they were kind of careful. Because as long as it was not visible to the public,
wow,
that was okay. It was like the back.
Eventually, our dad got some counseling, and we didn't get hit anymore. But for a good chunk of the childhood, there was a lot of smackage going on.
I remember, I think one time our father was watching TV. He was about maybe good 10, 15 steps away, give or take. I would say 10. He was standing and he had the control in his hand. And I still laugh to this day about it because it's a funny memory now. Where of course I think he just had a long day, and I keep telling him, Papa, I want to. Can I get the controller? And he kept saying no. And of course I was that typical annoying brother. So I was like, I want to see how far I could get annoying and get away with it. So I think in a matter of like under a minute or probably 2 tops, he yanks the remote, back, boom, right on the top of my head. I was like, geez, and I just kind of like, I rubbed my head, and I didn't know how to react. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna walk back to my room, and I'm just gonna stay away.
Oh, Lisa said, throwback to cord and phones.
Oh,
Allie said that the snap of the belt was the worst. Oh, yeah. No.
Oh, yeah. It was. Oh.
Actually, our dad, my mom thought that, like, okay, because my dad was like the main, discipliner, and that's like really the person that you don't want to mess with. I mean, you don't want to mess with my mom either, but I can run away from her, so she can catch me. So maybe, I tested the parameters of things, when I was a teenager, but just how far are the borders? But my mom had when I was in 6th grade, and my mom had this was after school, and we were in the school auditorium, and my mom was in the PTO, so she used to, which is the parent teacher organization. She used to hang out and talk to the other parents and some of the teachers, and like me and my friends would be off like running around, and I was just wearing I remember I was wearing like a white t-shirt that day. I don't know, something on it, I guess. And my mom looked at me, and then she said something to the mom that was next to her, and they both start looking at me, and I'm like, what? And my mom says, oh my gosh, you're starting to blossom. And I'm like, huh? and both of them, the other one's like, oh dear, I think it's time that you take your daughter in for a training bra. She really is starting to blossom, and I'm like, blossom? What are you talking about? Like flowers? I'm like, I don't have any flowers. Like, what are you talking about? And so my mom's like, we'll talk to your father when we get home. So now I'm thinking something to do with flowers that blossom and something about my dad. Am I getting in trouble? Like, I'm like, what? I was like so confused. um, Ishani said, once my mom tried to hit me when I was 12 years old. During that period, I was undergoing karate training. She ended up hurting her hand as my calf muscle had got strong. She never touched me again. Dude. So, Lisa's like, sounds like 1950s puberty video in school. I know. I'm like, what do you mean blossom? So then we get home and my mom, I can't quite hear, but she's having some sort of like whispery conversation with my dad in the back. And my brother's running around the house like a crazy head, like normal. Um, and so my mom says, tomorrow or something like your father's going to take you to the mall. And I'm like, okay. I still have no idea. Something about flowers and blossoming, and somehow my dad's involved, and now we're going to the mall. I'm so confused. Like, what are we doing? And so we go to the mall and we go to Sears, back when Sears sold clothes and all that stuff. And so we go to Sears and we're in the the baptismo, like the baptism, like christening section, with like all the baby clothes that are all white and stuff like that, and I'm like wondering, like, why are we here? And I notice my dad's like, he says, okay, so your mother said that we have to get you your first bra. And I'm like, why is my father with me to get this thing that is so embarrassing? And why are we at the mall? And why are we in the baby section? And my hope my friends don't see me. Like, what is going on? Lisa's like, are we gardening? so so I'm like, just like keep looking around, because like I hope that none of my friends are watching me look like be in the baby section. And the reason we're in the baby section, like with all like the white dresses and the white little suits and stuff for like baby's baptism, is because that's where they keep the training bras for little girls and stuff like that. And so we walk over to like the little girl bras, and my dad's like, so what's your size? I'm like, I, I don't know. My dad's like, and I said, I wear a 14, 16, because that was my t-shirt size, was, a kid's large 14, 16, because I was a tall kid. My dad's like, no, like your bra size, not your t-shirt size. And I'm like, I don't know. And my dad's like, well, pick out two, because you'll probably need at least two to rotate, for each day. And he says, so pick out two. And I'm like trying to think, what should I pick out that doesn't look too girly, but also so my dad doesn't think that I'm thinking about boys, and also so that it looks like kind of appropriate. And so I'm just like, I don't know, like maybe that one. And it just basically looked like a lacy sports bra or something. And my dad's like, okay, well, go try it on. And so I'm like, okay, but my dad does the thing, how, I don't know if your guys' parents did this, they make you turn around, like, and they put the shirt up, to measure your shoulders and make sure the t-shirt fits you. So he did that. He had me turn around. He put the bra up to my back to see if the bra would fit me. And then he's like, okay, go try it on. And so I tried it on, and I don't know what was going through my head, but when we tried on clothes, my dad always wanted us to come out of the dressing room so he could see how it looks on us, and we'd have to spin around because the clothes had to be at least a little bit bigger so that we could grow into them, to save money. And, and it's like, oh, Lisa said, OMG, yes. Ashani's like, oh God, lingerie shopping with dad. so I put on the sports bra and I put it on over my shirt, because I remember standing there in the dressing room going, well, I don't want to walk outside in just this little bra, because what if my friends see me? And I was like, okay, so I put the sports bra over my t-shirt, and then I walked out into the waiting area where my dad was. And my dad's like, what the hell are you doing out here? And I was like, I came to show you. He's like, you're not supposed to show me that, okay? You're not supposed, that's for girl stuff. Girls don't show, just get back in there and he says, and just, if it fits, just say it fits. You don't have to show me, okay? He says, when you try on other clothes, you show me, but that you don't have to show me. And I'm like, okay. Walking around with a little
Jeez.
bra over my t-shirt. And so we grabbed both of them, the two bras that I had picked out. And then when I hit like 13, it's like the following year, my mom says, your father, like, I'm just in my bedroom. I'm like listening to, I don't know, like Depeche Mode or something. And I'm just like, listening to my clock radio. My mom's like, your father's going to come in here and he's going to come talk to you. And I was like, why? And she says, because it's time that your father had the talk. And I was like, the talk about what? And she's like, just stay there. Don't move. Lisa said, this is why we need open dialogue with our kids. Surian said, respect. Silver Star, too good. All fun. Preteen years. Don't miss that. So then my mom, I hear my mom and my dad in the bedroom again, and I'm just sitting in my room like, what? I'm so confused. I was just legit listening to Depeche Mode right now. Like, what? And so like my mom and dad are like, and then I hear like, just go talk to her, Chris. Just go talk to her. My dad's like, what the? You're her mother. And that's all I can hear my dad is saying, because that's my dad. And so then my dad, he's like, so he walks over and he stands in my doorway. He's like, hey. I'm like, what? He's like, so you're not fooling around with boys, are you? I'm like, no. He's like, okay, because here's the deal. I catch you fooling around with boys, it's going to be no more. No more. No more here. I'm like, okay. And he's like, and you just better keep your head on your studies and athletics. Okay? Because no boys. All right? I hear a boy gets you pregnant. Okay? It's going to be no more. No more. No more what? Just no more. I'm like, okay. He's like, so I don't want to hear you fooling around. I don't want to hear you having babies. And you better keep your eye on your studies. I was like, and then he's like, okay, good talk. I'm like, okay, good talk. And like, he walked away. My dad's like, I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't even talk to boys right now. What are you talking about? I'm so confused. And then I'm like, can I continue listening to the radio? Yeah. Okay. Shout, let it all out. These are things.
It's interesting you bring that up because what was it? I think I was either 15 or 16, give or take. Our dad, it was just me and him. We went to the Walmart because I think you were already in college already. So we're walking out Walmart, and for some reason, of course, there's that particular section for guys for protection, I guess. And so I look at it, and for some reason, our dad sees me take a quick glance, like, oh, he looks at me. He was like, Brian, do you need one? I'm like, no, I'm okay. I'm all right. So he was like, you sure? He was like, because, and to kind of coincide with what he mentioned to you, like, it was pretty much parallel. He was just like, because Brian, if you could become a dad, don't come to me for money. I was like, oh, I know I'm not. so I kind of like, I was surprised, but yet embarrassed at the same time he said that. So we walk around a little bit more because we had to get typical like food stuff like that, and then I guess he had this plan to circle around. We get back to that section, and he walks up to it. He's like, Brian, which one? And like, there's other parents there that are kind of looking like, what in the world is going on? And I'm standing there like a retard, like, I don't know, I don't know. I was like, no, Dad, no, no. So he ends up buying, I guess, the big pack.
The family pack?
The family pack, apparently. So I'm like, great. So we're in our little shopping cart. We got, the typical, like, what the food, other things. He has the family pack on top of everything. And it was like, the walk from there to the cashier was probably like 15, 20 steps. But those 15, 20 steps felt like 2 miles. And people are just like looking, and then they look at me and our dad. I'm as red as a freaking cherry. I'm like, oh my God, this can't be happening. Our dad's just smiling away. And then some lady was just like, out of the blue, was like, what the? And our dad was like, oh, it's for my son. He's getting no one pregnant today at this age. I'm like, great. I was like, good job, Baba. Good job. Thank you. But it was funny. So, of course, at the time, our parents were separated. So he kept it in his place. So, but the funny part was, what I would do was, I didn't work yet, but I wanted to get a job because I was like, oh, I want money to myself so I could earn my own stuff. So I thought it was a smart move. So what I started doing, I selling each one for like $2 at school. I was like, I need a source of income somehow. I need to buy a pair of shoes for myself that I like.
You sold.
And then after a while,
sold the family pack?
I sold it. I think I made like $30 or $40 off.
Wow.
And then like after it's empty, I think the following weekend when I had to go see our dad, we get home, and after I'm done taking a shower, our dad's holding the empty pack in front of me. He's like, Brian, what? I'm like, I'm trying to think what to say. He was like, care to explain, Brian? I'm like, I have no kids. He was like, okay. He was like, do you need more? I was like, no, I'm okay.
Let's see, there are some comments for you. Let's see. It says, this is why I'm all for a comprehensive sex education, according to Lisa. Surian said parenting 101.
Yes.
Let's see. Lisa said the eye gesture. I can't. Susie said when she was in high school, they gave them bananas and condoms in health class. Lame 80s, really? Surian said, you guys are too precious. I wish you were my neighbor back then. Lisa said, I thought that was only in teen movies. And then nothing but a bunch of laughing faces. And then Sumi says, shopping list. Watermelon, bread, chicken, condoms. Lisa said, no sperm today. Silver Star says, was wondering what the cashier was going to say. Leave it to Dad. And Surian said, now that's clever. Silver Star says they would have expired if not. Liesel says, very enterprising. Lisa said, from family pack to cool kicks, Brian's Birds and the Bees story. Shani said he got profit out of his embarrassment. True businessman.
Yes.
Wow. Oh, and then, okay. So there's a time, and of course, we don't go into tons of detail, respect my father's privacy. But so like my brother and I were always chasing each other around the house. We're always trying to see who was faster, hence the racing to cars and running. You already know. You already know.
I'm sorry, Tara. I apologize to interrupt.
Haley. Oh my god. I start crying. My brother already knows what I'm gonna say. Like Lisa's like, nice, at least you got shoes, right? So we like to chase each other around the house, up and down the stairs. I'm gonna catch you so we could shove each other to the floor, right? Because that's fun.
Yeah.
And so we're running around the house, and my brother's
Sorry.
My brother's ahead of me. And he runs into the back bedroom where my parents' room is. And I'm chasing him. And I see my... Okay. Come back on, Brian. Oh, geez, it's been so much fun.
I need to blow the AC stronger in my car right now. Sorry.
So my brother's like, Terry, you can't catch me. And then he stops dead in his tracks. And I see my brother just stop in the room, and he's like, and I'm chasing him, and I'm like, I'm gonna catch you. And so I like run into him, and we both like kind of almost fall over, and I hear my dad screaming because
oh my gosh.
Because my dad had closed the door slightly, but he didn't close it all the way, because we know you don't enter the room when the door's closed all the way. But it was partially open, so I figured it just kind of sort of may have closed itself a little bit, But my brother went bursting in, he bursted the door open, and then he's just like, and then I come in, I run into him, and then I hear my dad, what the Jesus? And we both look, and my dad's naked, but he's got like a shirt or something covering himself. He's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And we're both like, he's like, get out of here. What are you looking at? What's wrong with you two? He's like, get out of here. And I'm like, oh my God. So I run out. And I'm like, come on, Brian. Brian's just like, and so my dad's like, he's like trying to hold whatever is covering him, My dad's like making like, I'm gonna hit the both of you. He's like, just get out of here. We're like, ooh. And so then we go screaming out of the bedroom, and we're running through the house again. We're like, who's that Papa naked? And then my mom's like, what are you guys carrying on about? And Brian's like, he's like, so because he doesn't know if we're gonna get in trouble, so Brian's trying to be serious. He's like, so like we were just running, because Tara and I like to chase each other, and like we went into the back room, and like Papa was, I guess, getting naked, and so like then I saw him, and then he said leave. My mom's like, why are you guys staring at your father naked? And we're like, oh.
She's trying to make it.
So then my dad, as soon as he did get dressed, he comes out and he's like continuing his rant. What's wrong with these two? These two, there's something wrong with them. He says, when you see somebody getting dressed, you don't stare at them. What's wrong with you two? You guys are a bunch of sickos. Like, hey man, why do you think I closed that door? And Brian's like, well, it wasn't closed all the way. But it was still closed partially. You think, don't come in, okay? Maybe something's going on. I'm like, oh God, what's wrong with these two? Like,
I got
and then
so
later,
traumatized after.
and then later we keep laughing about it. We're like, we saw Papa naked. And so, yeah, my dad is still scarred to this day because when my dad brings up that we used to chase each other, that story comes up, and then he talks about what a couple of sickos we are. Were, but he's like still really scarred, and how he's like, yeah, he says I was like trying to cover myself. Your brother's got like laser beam focus right on my thingy, and he's like, I'm like, why are you looking at me? Stop looking, I'm your father. And he's like, and then your sister comes running in. It's like these two like doofuses are just standing there like. And he's like, dude, he said, when you see people getting dressed, like, get out of there. Get out.
And like, I still remember it like it just happened. Like we're still kids. And like, I guess going back to what one of your followers said about like the class, like the classes back then, what they taught. I remember, of course, I was at Chula Vista High at the time, and they had, what it was health as they couldn't call it that particular education because of the times has changed and whatnot.
Oh yes, it was. I think was it family health and family
Yep,
services
health and family.
Or health and
They called
family.
it.
Yeah.
Ours was just health education. So
Health.
for our class, we just thought, oh, they're gonna tell us what to eat, what not to eat. We didn't really think much of it, but it was just considered a boring class. And this is all before we entered the classroom. We're like, oh man, we gotta take this freaking class, man. And we're just kind of like downgrading the class before we enter, talking a lot of smack about it. Next thing you know, we enter, our teacher just surprises us. Nice lady, hands down. But she was just like, we're not just talking about food, we're talking about everything in this class. And I swear, all of our jaws dropped, and all you hear is just crickets and like, what the? So, I guess, over the course of the semester, she's breaking down like, okay, this is the female body part, and we were not ready to see like pictures. We're like, yo, we're not gonna. How are we gonna have a family after this? And like she showed us like the birth, the birth part, which
Yeah.
is not the best looking sight. And then when she gets to the guy part, it's not only was she showing pictures on the board, like, from those old, magnifying lit up things, she actually physically had, a particular part, best way to put it.
Well,
So,
it's health education.
yeah, we're just like, what's this? So what do me and my classmates decide to do? We're like pointing it at everybody. Hey, get away! I'm gonna hit you with this. Get away! Get away! We're having a blast afterwards in health class. We're like,
Sumi's like, no, Serene said she was OMG dying. Silver Star says, called my stepdad the white whale for a reason.
oh shit.
Lisa said, my older sister asked my mom why she didn't have a cool tail like my dad when she saw him on accident and skiing. Sumi said, Brian, was your health class before lunch?
I think so, and that's why half the time I didn't really eat at school. Because some things I'm like, okay, I'll be alright. I'll be okay to eat. Other times I'm like, I'm gonna wait till I get home. I'm just eating a bag of chips.
Well, see, our dad, whenever the family gets together, and every once in a while, the seeing our dad naked story comes up, um, and he says what mortified him the most was, yes, that his children saw him, because he says you're not supposed to see your parents naked, but the other thing was he didn't care about me, but he was like, my brother, he's like, there's something between a father and son. He says you always want the son to look at the dad like he's the man. He was
Yeah.
like, and he says, and I just don't feel that I looked my best when my son saw me naked. He says, sometimes you want to look the best for your son. And we're like, why would you ever want your kid to see you? He says, no, you don't want them to see you. But it's like in the off chance that that happens, you want your son to have a good opinion of you. What?
And there's actually another embarrassing moment on top of that. It didn't have to do with what I saw our dad, but uh, I remember one time we ended up going to McDonald's because I think we just finished doing laundry or something. And we were just going to get a quick bite. We walk in, and I don't know if they have it today, but back then, in the early 2000s, they had this burger, what they called as the Big and Tasty. So we walk in, I'm trying to figure out, oh, what do I want? Typical, customers trying to figure out what to eat. And there's this young lady as the cashier, probably like anywhere between like 18 to 20, give or take. And we're just looking, and I was like, I'll just get, I'll get this burger over here. My dad, our dad, sorry, ends up saying, "Oh, can I get the big and nasty?" And like, advise you, the cashier, she's from the waist up, she's a little heavy. So her face just like lit up, like, wait, what? She turns red laughing. I'm cracking up in the background. And then I guess some guy that's working the French fries or whatever heard it, and he cracks up and just tells the cashier, "Hey, give the man what he wants." I'm just like dead in the background. I'm like, I can't believe this just happened. Oh my gosh, she's not my dad no more. I need to go.
Yes, if you guys haven't figured it out, our dad loves to embarrass us.
Oh yeah.
He has quite the sense of humor. He's very like the people person. Like he's got to be the center of attention, at least for a little bit. But let's see. Oh, Lisa says he's like, you caught me off guard. Sumi said first impressions matter.
Yeah.
Lisa said, I think your dad is a good sport. Yeah, he is. Sumi said, that was my name in jail, Big and Tasty.
Oh gee.
Lisa said, people say doggy style fries on accident a lot here instead of animal style.
Oh wow.
Wow. Silver Star said, OMG, so funny. My stomach hurts from laughing so hard. Yeah, our dad, oh my gosh. Like, and then there was the, okay, so yes, embarrassing you at the fast food restaurant, but you remember how we used to go to Fuddruckers?
Oh yeah, I love that
And
place.
and so, okay, so there was a guy that I dated, whose name was also James. That was like, my first like real boyfriend or whatever when I was like 18, 19. And he was working like the back, like flipping the burgers at Fuddruckers. And I thought he was really cute, so I was like going to ask for his number. But see, I was with my family, and so I was trying to figure out like a slick way to go ask for this guy's number without like my dad or anything picking up on it, because I kind of told my mom, I was like, Mama, I think like the guy that works in the back, he's kind of cute. And she's like, he's kind of skinny.
He
And
was.
I was like, well, but I kind of think he's cute. And she's like, okay, well, why don't you go over there and introduce yourself and like, go, coyly ask for his number. And I'm like, okay. So, by the way, I don't have any moves. Like, I'm not, I have no suave. I have no moves. I'm not really slick with that stuff. So I'm like, just kind of like chill, making my way over to to the counter, and I'm like, hey, hey, and he's like, can I help you? I'm like, he says, just ask the cashier. I'm like, no, I was like wondering what high school you go to, or did you go to? He's like, oh, I went to Hilltop. I went to Castle Park. Psh, the Lancers suck. He's like, okay. And he goes back to flipping burgers. And I'm like thinking, okay, that didn't work. Um, so hey, like, do you like working at Fuddruckers? He's like, no, I hate it. It's my living hell. That's cool. Nice. I bet you eat a lot of burgers for free. Cool. he's like, he's just like, what do you want? Like, I'm trying to do a job here. And I'm like, um, I was wondering if like you wanted my number. He's like, why? Because I was wondering if you wanted to go eat somewhere that's not Fuddruckers or hang out.
Yeah.
He's like, what was your name again? I'm like, Tara. He's like, okay. So like I write my number down, and then later he gives me his number, and I come back to the table, and I'm like so shaky. I'm like, I just got a number. And then my dad's like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, nothing. I was getting more ketchup. And my mom's like, oh, Tara thinks that the boy that's working behind the counter flipping the burger, she thinks he's really cute. What fool? Let me see this fool. She's like, and then Brian, he's like, what? Tara thinks somebody's cute? Ew, somebody's cute is flipping burgers? What, does he like burgers or something?
That's right.
And so then my mom's like, oh, that guy, he says, that tall skinny fool, he's so skinny. And I was like, I don't know, I was just thought maybe we could hang out. And what school does that fool go to? He says, is he in college? I was like, I don't know. He said he went to Hilltop. Hilltop, man, what a loser.
Jeez.
So I'm just like, and so then we go to leave, and I'm like, don't want to make eye contact now because I'm like, I'm embarrassed and I don't know what else to say, or I don't know if you're supposed to make eye contact or no eye contact. So I figure I'm just going to like usher my family out as fast as possible. But then, Brian's back there. He's like, ooh, my sister likes you. My sister likes you. My sister thinks you're cute.
Yes.
So he's making all kinds of like just trying to embarrass me. And then my dad just keeps doing this. What, that fool? That fool? And he's trying to like, and then my mom's like, bye, call my daughter, bye. And I'm just like, my face is so red. I'm just like, oh my god, he's never going to call. And this is why I don't have a boyfriend. Like, why do I have this family? Why am I in this family?
Sorry, I'm just putting my
So,
something.
yeah. Let me see. Oh.
Oh, good times. Like there was what was it? Oops, sorry. I think anytime, like, I think our dad would notice I like to go at some restaurant. Like, he'll just kind of, I guess he would play the wingman, and he'll just kind of look for me and he'll tell me, if it was okay or not to go, or to go or not to go. Because of course, like if I saw a girl that was like with her parents, Papa would be like, "Right, no go, not yet. Her dad's there." I was like, "Oh, okay." He was like, "You talk to her alone on your terms." I was like, "Oh, all right." And like, there's yeah, so he would always find ways, like if the girl was by herself, especially if she was working, like would be ordering or whatever. He'll just flat out say, "Oh, my son here thinks you're good looking. You're cute. What you think?" I'm like,
What
"Papa,
you
are you
think?
trying to pimp me out or what?" It's like, "Jeez, man."
Lisa says, "Isn't family great?"
Yeah.
Or
Oh,
like, we're at a restaurant, like let's say the waiter I thought was like cute or something, and so I get like really flustered and I can't like talk, and I just like mumble what my order is or something, and I start like acting very awkward, And so like I'll be ordering. My dad was always like, "What's wrong with you? You goofy? Something wrong with you?" I swear she's smarter than this sometimes. I'm just like, shh. Can people just not talk? My mom's like, oh, I think she thinks he's cute. She thinks you're cute. I think that's why. I see. Sometimes she doesn't. Yeah, that's why.
jeez. Oh, by the way, does your followers would like to say hi to Rhoda?
Oh, sure.
Okay, let me just put my hat back on.
See you later, Susie. Have a great weekend.
There we go. So this is kind of like where I live. This house behind me. It's an interesting house. A lot of things happen. A lot of interesting things always happen here, almost on a daily basis. Either you got a couple shouting at each other, or there's like some sort of car accident.
Oh.
But, oh, hi, Anthony. Sawa, you want to say hi to Tara and her followers?
My followers make
Okay.
me sound like.
This is Rhoda. This is my other half. So as you can
That's my
tell,
brother's
compared to
girlfriend.
me, so as you can tell, height wise, compared to me and her, I'm much taller. No offense, but it's quite. It's I don't mind, but uh, sometimes I feel bad because if we're going to like Ross or something, I don't. She was wondering if she gets cookies.
She comes on, she gets a cookie.
Probably. Who knows?
Sumi said she's beautiful. Everybody's waving hi.
Oh, they say hi and that you're beautiful as well.
Thank you.
She says thank you to everybody and hi as well. So, oh, oh, there's my headphones. So I'm just gonna pop my headphones real quick in. So it'll be just one moment. I'm sorry.
Hey Kay, how are you? Oh,
There we go.
hold on.
All right, cool.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, there we go. All right.
I'm hearing feedback. I can hear
Yes.
myself.
Oh, it's the echo.
Yeah,
Oh, that's probably
I thought.
my headphones.
I don't think I can hear myself now. At first, I thought I heard myself. Nope. Okay.
Yeah, let me try a different headphone.
I think those are okay
I'll try
now.
a different one.
Sorry.
I think those are fine for now. Yeah.
Oh.
So anyway, I know you probably got stuff to do with Rhoda, and I'm gonna be popping off out of the apartment for a little bit. We're gonna go check some stuff out and go down to Healy to find my grips for my brand new revolver. It's a Ruger Red Hawk. It's a 44 Magnum. I got to shoot it yesterday, and actually I got a cut right there from the hammer. Kind of hurt, but battle scars. Anyway, I thought of pulling a card from us, for us.
Okay.
And so,
Nice.
so usually at the end of my live chat, I'll pull a card, and I do a healing at the end. So, but I always ask people to kind of jump in on the healing. So, if you want to do it too, and maybe Rhoda too, but I ask everybody to kind of like, put their own good juju in. Some people do Reiki, some people just like pretend, they're Care Bears and they do the Care Bear stare, however you want to like, push your energy out just so, everybody can feel it, because energy is infinite and it's also not finite. So meaning, even though we're putting the energy out now, people are already feeling it before we even put it out because it's not linear. Lisa's also taking off. So take care, Lisa. So I'm going to pull 2 cards actually to kind of direct our little healing here. So one of them is the Angels Among Us. Hold on. Deck by Vix Maxwell, and she has a YouTube channel called New Age Hipster. And she was like one of the first people I started watching, which is like what got me here on YouTube. But she came out with a cool deck that got picked up by Rockpool. So I thought that was pretty awesome. And her artist, Ellie Grant, is a fabulous artist for this deck. But I also have my Wally's World, so I wanted to pull a card from here as well. And then that'll just kind of direct us to where our energy healing is going to go. So let's pull a card for us. And I feel like this was a really fun chat. So yeah, Brian, whenever you want to come on again, I'm pretty sure people wouldn't mind having you.
Oh yeah, I'm always free on the weekend.
Yeah.
And
Sarian said she's right
since
back.
I'm always
She had to
the
go
early
take care of her
bird.
mom. Huh?
Oh. Yeah, I'm always free on the weekend and anytime after like 3:30 on the weekdays.
Okie dokie. Maybe we'll make like a video
Would
or
be
something.
probably 4:30 for you. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
sure.
Oh, and you guys, by the way, so I'm leaving Tuesday of next week. I'm going to be up in the Bay Area, so I'm going to be near my brother, actually, for Thanksgiving. And then I won't be back till about Sunday. So if I can do a live chat, maybe I will on Saturday. But if not, maybe I'll just post like a bunch of stuff on Instagram, maybe some video and stuff like that if I can't do a full-on live chat. So stay tuned on Instagram. I'll also try to post stuff to YouTube as well. I know that I can do like a little post section, so I'll try to do that as well if I can't do a live chat because, I'm going to be around family and stuff like that. So Surian said, what did I miss? Oh, we was just chit-chatting. Silver Star says, would love to have you back, Brian. It was so good to chat with you.
Oh, likewise.
So, yeah. And who knows, maybe for Christmas, because my brother and I are both going to San Diego for Christmas. We're gonna like see if we can split an Airbnb. I'll see. I don't know if I can do a live chat, but maybe I'll just make a video and like turn it into a proper video instead of a live chat, so you guys can like talk to my dad, my stepmom, see the other fam. Ishani says, we would love to have you regularly for live chats. And Sarian said, thank you, Brian.
You're welcome.
Okay.
If I... Ooh.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I would be glad, depending, work schedule and everything, I'd be glad to do as best as I can to hop on the live chat.
Okay. Yeah, Sumi said Team Brian. Lena said that'd be cool.
Yes.
Okay, so from
Oh, nice.
our Angels Among Us deck from Victoria Maxwell, we pulled the card Horus, which I actually pulled last night as well. So the keywords on here are clear seeing, intention, and perspective. But Horus is also one of the deities that I work with. Oh, Liesel says, lovely to meet you, Brian. So pairing this with the Wally's World card, and I'll put the messages together. Oh, it's a pretty card. This picture was actually taken by Cosmic Creeper, who lives out in the UK. And this is where she said she loves to go just like hang out because it's quiet, it's peaceful. There's lots of ducks and birds and things like that. And it's where she goes to like think and contemplate. Leanne says, bro, we need to see more of you. You are natural. Get your own channel. Hey,
I do, yes.
When I asked my brother to be on here, he says, why? Because I'm famous and you need more subscribers? I said, yeah, because you're famous.
Yeah, I think knowing myself, if I do, once I do my own channel, it's going to be like a lot of stupid, funny stuff that goes on, like just making fun of things.
Nice. Okay, so our message here with Senor Horus and this beautiful tranquil picture, oops, over here. What I was getting with Horus energy, you know, he flies in, you know, with, well, he's technically a falcon, you know, the falcon head of God. So he's got like falcon vision, you know, hawk vision, falcon vision. He can see things very clearly. He has that higher perspective, but it's only because he can soar effortlessly, quiet above the clouds, just kind of looking down on situations instead of being engulfed in the situation. So this is like a message for this upcoming week, and even now, I know not everybody celebrates Thanksgiving because not everybody's in the United States, and even people in the United States, not everybody does Thanksgiving. But it is kind of the time of year where people are at least thinking about family members, even if they're not hanging out with family members. It tends to bring up stuff. You know, my brother and I were just talking about like hilarious stuff from our childhood. You know, stuff just naturally comes up, you know, whether it's hilarious or maybe a little bit more sensitive, you know, stuff comes up. So in those instances, it's best to, you know, if you have these strong feelings coming up, it's not about suppressing feelings, because you never want to suppress them. You want to ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Maybe, why do I feel like this was such a hilarious memory? Why do I feel like I'm so angered by this memory? Or why do I feel kind of sad or nostalgic when I have this memory? And it helps get you to kind of the root cause of it inside yourself. So either something needs healing or something needs nurturing, but it's looking at things from a higher perspective. So, you know, let's say you're in it with family, and there's that weird uncle that just, you know, presses your buttons, and you're getting really angry. Instead of being in it and being angry, it's like, okay, so why am I or why am I feeling angry? Let's go back and go back and go back until we find the core issue that is causing this anger at the moment. And if it is, then I say, okay, maybe not right now, but later on, I would like to work on this issue and release it. So next time I'm with weirdo uncle, I'm not going to have this reaction, and I can be like, peace out, bro. And, you know, and it's not going to bother me, you know, or at least, you know, working on it for a while. So, the keyword is perspective, you know, for this whole week. So anybody triggers you, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be like you were angry triggered, but anything, something was hilarious. Maybe that's something within you that you want to nurture more of because it makes you laugh, you know? So, so think of the things that need healing. Think of the things that need nurturing. What feelings are coming up? Work back until you can find the root cause of it, so that next time you're in a similar scenario, it has no bearing on you. It doesn't bother you at all because you've released it, you know, or you've nurtured it, whatever it may be. Leanne said, I wasn't commenting because I was watching on the tablet. It doesn't load the live chat part. Oh, that's a bummer. Well, we could see now.
No.
So anyway, so that's the message for the week. So again, whether you guys are hanging out with family or not, whether you celebrate Thanksgiving or not, or you're in the United States or not, this is naturally a time where we start thinking of family. And so the things that come up, remember, those feelings are there to let you know that something either needs nurturing or it needs healing. So don't ignore those feelings, whatever they may be. No feelings are stupid or, oh, that was silly of me, blah, blah. Just, they're there for a reason. Okay. And I know that, you know, obviously it's a different season in the Southern Hemisphere, but still, you know, springtime, things are blooming. Again, thinking of family and things like that. So it doesn't matter what hemisphere you're in. It's kind of that familial time. Okay, so when I do my healings, what I do, just so my brother knows too, I just kind of go like this. I get my hands all nice and heated up, and I kind of push that energy out there, and it's kind of the energy of the reading. So the reading was about perspective, having a higher perspective on things. So that's what I want to help us with. So kind of pushing the energy out there so that you can have a boost of that energy to help you have perspective and whatever comes up for you this week. Funny, sad, nostalgic, you know, neutral, whatever it is, just kind of help you through it and understand it. And I ask everybody to join in too. And it usually lasts about a minute or less, so it's not too long. But anyway, so you guys don't have to stay on for this portion, but you can if you want to. Just know that if you're open to the healing, it will reach you. And I ask you guys to join in. So whether you do Reiki, the Care Bear stare, or you push energy out of a crystal, or, you know, whatever it may be, all is appreciated. And even people who don't know us, if they're open to any sort of healing energy, they'll receive it too. So here we go. If I put my earbud in. Okay. Okay. All right. All right, guys. So thank you guys for popping into the chat. Oh, Leon said some Canadians celebrate Canadian and American Thanksgiving. That's awesome. Oh, yeah, because I think the Canadian Thanksgiving may have already happened, if I remember correctly, from my friend Sarah, who actually lives out in Canada. So yeah, I thank you guys for popping on. Thank you to my brother for hanging out with us and helping to share some fun stories. So hopefully you guys had you know, brought some fun to your Saturday. But I hope you guys have fun the rest of the day, whatever it is you guys, whatever it is you guys is doing. And have a great Sunday. Have a fabulous week. And whatever you're doing, Thanksgiving or not, in this country or not, I hope that you guys have a great week. Silver Star said, thanks, Tara. Brian, sending lots of hugs and loves. Have a beautiful day.
You're welcome.
So you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. And let's see, do you have a sign off? I have a sign off. Do you?
Stay blessed, everybody.
Stay blessed and peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.